I, 37 meters, need some advice on how to break up with my fiancée 30F of 4 years. Things have been mostly stable since the pandemic, but mostly because I just keep any complaints in. My life has really transformed over the last few months. Up at 5 AM, working out, eating healthier. Overall just making better choices and getting things in my life in order both physically and financially. In those regards, I'm living my best life. But our relationship has basically been on cruise control. She's on meds to deal with her anxiety, and that has pretty much caused her to just sit in bed all day and watch TV. Her obsession is to have a child. We tried for 2 years, including medications to promote ovulation. Nothing. She wants to take it a step further into medical procedures that I know she can't afford, and I have just lost my appetite for it. She was diagnosed with PCOS but refuses to try anything to help it out. All she eats is garbage food. I've tried to share with her some information I've found about managing PCOS through a better diet, but she really just ignores what I say. I have an 11-year-old and I'm already feeling like I can't take any more responsibility. If we have a child, I can almost bet that all the responsibility will fall on me, and I'm already doing 90% of the housework. When I tell her this, it may ultimately end things right there. I'm racked with guilt that I may have wasted her prime years for childbearing, and now I'm just dumping her. Not that she would have been able to have one with someone else because of the PCOS. Still, I understand that having to find someone new and start the process over will certainly be the nail in the coffin of her dreams to bear a child. And that's just it. Her dream, her goal, is more important than our relationship. I doubt that she even thinks about or cares about how I feel about anything. It's evident in our daily conversations. She seems annoyed when I try to talk about anything at all. She's annoyed by the way I chew. She's annoyed by the sound of a fork scraping the plate. I go out of my way to avoid her all day as to not annoy her. She doesn't pick up on it. She probably doesn't even think anything is wrong. I could just use some advice on how to approach this in a way that is respectful of her feelings but also to the point. I'm not good at letting people down. TL doctor, I needs to break up with my fiancé because the relationship is making me miserable and I need advice on how to approach it. I would lead with the baby thing, as in I don't want another one, and I'm not doing fertility treatments. If she wants another baby as badly as I suspect she does, she'll move on quickly. At 30, she has plenty of time to have another child, if she gets a move on. If you lead with health/diet/lifestyle, she may protest that she can change, and waste more of her fertile years. I was with a man that stalled me on babies when that was all I wanted. I thought I was too old to find someone else in time to have a baby, so tried to push my guy into it, because he led me on about when we could try, instead of just telling me he didn't want children with me, because he knew I'd leave. Also, wanting a child so much and not being able to get pregnant is often a cause for depression, which it sounds like your lady may have. Her dream, her goal, is more important than our relationship. In the end, being a mom was indeed more important to me than my relationship. I ended up leaving him after 20 years together, and 15 of those, we just wasted each other's time, and made each other miserable. Don't go there, trust me. Just cut the cord now, and let each of you pursue the lives you want. Good luck. If you're not both fuck yes about another kid, then don't do it, full stop. Tell her that you don't want another kid, and that if she wants one then it won't be with you. I kinda was, but life with my 11-year-old has been a lot of work. I can't imagine doing it again at 47, then paying for college when I'm trying to retire. Fuck that. Youth, I'm sorry you are going through this, but what can you do? You just have to tell her. I would start by asking her to have a conversation and tell her you feel the relationship has been off for some time. I don't know if you should go into detail about her eating habits or her desire to have a baby. The part where she seems annoyed at you all the time and the part where you've actually started to avoid her is really important. I don't think there's any easy way around this. You just have to tell her as respectfully and lovingly as you can. Yeah, I mean, I'd only bring up the baby thing to really drive the point home that our ideas of the future have deviated significantly. If I don't mention it, she will. So it's best to probably just be out with it. Staying while not enforcing expectations and boundaries will continue to enable her. And it sounds like the two of you accidentally got caught up in an anxiety/avoidance/dependence/enabling cycle that reinforces anxiety and avoidant behavior by removing consequences. It comes from a place of love, but backfires by reinforcing bad coping skills and avoidance. Even if the ultimate decision is to leave, I highly recommend you get some counseling for yourself to improve boundaries and confrontation skills. This sounds like it's been going on for a long time, and that kind of pattern doesn't stop just cause you end a relationship. Before you enter a new relationship, you gotta deal with whatever ever leaky boundaries got you to the point where someone else is that dependent on you and you're doing 90% of the heavy lifting. These are great insights, thank you. The cycle we are in is complicated. I've never met someone so defensive when you just try to give them a little advice or help. If I ever get upset about anything and approach her about it, she will give me the silent treatment for a few days. In some ways I saw everything that was happening, hoping it would change, but it hasn't, and there's no desire on her end. She's not the least bit unsatisfied with the way her life is. She gets a little insecure because I've been getting in shape and will want to join me for walks or runs but never does. Be honest, deadly honest. Tell her everything you just said here. Don't listen to her try to guilt trip you into staying in the relationship. Having a kid isn't a goal or a right. There's work effort, responsibility and a lot of stress. You didn't waste her prime childbearing years. She did that by choosing to not address her medical diagnosis and deal with it. How do I tell my 25F boyfriend, 25M, I'm pregnant? So, I met Andrew 4 years ago when my best friend and his friend were dating. Andrew is pretty much a playboy and his parents were threatening to cut him off if he didn't straighten out and focus on his education. At this time, I was struggling to manage working and studying full-time to try and cover my bills and not have to take a semester off, so when he asked me to pretend to be his girlfriend whilst his parents were visiting in exchange for money, I took it. I've continued to pretend to be his girlfriend whenever he needs me to for the past 4 years. I've spent holidays with his family, gone on vacation with them and recently moved in with him to continue the charade. His family believe we live together. So, during the lockdown, they kept asking why I was never there during their video chats, so he asked me to temporarily move in with him. Until now, our arrangement has been strictly no sex, but since neither of us were sleeping with anyone else, we started hooking up. If I'm completely transparent, I can admit we weren't being very careful, so I'm not surprised I'm pregnant. I don't know if I'll keep it. I know the smart thing would be to get an abortion, and I've always been pro-choice, so I'm not sure why I'm having such a hard time coming to terms with getting one. Regardless, I feel like I have to tell Andrew. The problem is I'm not quite sure how to bring it up, and I've just been avoiding him since I found out. There is also the added problem that I feel like I'm catching feelings for him after living with him for a few months. Honestly, I'm just really confused right now and could do with some advice. Too long didn't read. I've been pretending to date this guy for the past 4 years so he can keep appearances up with his family. I moved in with him during the lockdown and we started hooking up. I'm pregnant and have started to catch feelings for him, and I don't know what to do. Tell him in person when the two of you have time to talk, not before work or right before bed. Have an unused pregnancy test on hand in case his first reaction is denial. Mentally prepare for different scenarios. From worst case, he wants nothing to do with baby, gets angry, and tries to kick you out of the house, to the alternative, he gets happy, wants to keep the baby and have a family. The reaction will likely be somewhere in between. He may be in shock and need time to process. He may ask what you want to do. Think of each scenario and the likely outcome for the pregnancy. Would you want to be a single mum? Would you abort even if he wants the baby? Do you have a place to live if he decides to kick you out? Would you want him to pay for the abortion if you decide to go that route? Once you have some idea about what direction you're leaning for each of those scenarios, have the talk and a backup place to go in case he needs space to process. Edit, keep in mind his first reaction may not be his final reaction. He may freak out, but then find himself wanting a family. He may also get excited but then decide he's not ready to be a father. Keep the dialogue going as you come to a decision together. Ultimately though, it's your body and the final choice will be yours to make. Just tell him, and you absolutely should tell him. This isn't a one-night stand with someone you barely know, this is a dear friend with whom you live and have a sexual relationship. Also, pro-choice doesn't mean you automatically are fine about needing an abortion. There are many people who are pro-choice but would never abort themselves. It means that you recognize that choices are necessary and people should be able to make them. Your complicated feelings are normal and rational. I have a hard time believing this is true. I understand in the beginning it was okay to pretend temporarily for the extra cash, but you've been carrying on this charade for 4 years. And the only solution to the random family video chats was to start living with him and having unprotected sex. I would recommend having an abortion and detangling yourself from this mess. Cause no offense, but it sounds like the plot of a really shitty rom-com. Or, exactly like a Hallmark movie where we know the ending just by watching the trailer. You live together. Just take a moment he isn't on the phone or in the middle of his work from home hours and tell him. There's no magic secret that will make this an easier conversation or him take the news better. Just be direct and to the point. Then you can see how he reacts. You don't have to decide first. You can tell him you're undecided and insert your feelings here / That's fair and normal. You guys weren't careful, so it's something that makes sense to maybe happen. As for catching feelings, that's more complicated, but you probably need to admit that too at some point. And if he doesn't feel the same, move out and stop having sex with him. Or at the very least stop having sex. You'll hurt yourself otherwise. Guess who has 2 thumbs and is pregnant? Thumbs up, pregnant woman, thumbs up, this bitch. My 24F boyfriend 24 meters has nude photos of his friends' ex-girlfriends. Every now and then for the past year or so I've randomly seen screenshots of these 2 girls' Facebook profile pics on his phone while we were looking at pictures together. His excuse always being it was an accident or my friend sent it to me. I believed it. Why not? Trust and all that jazz. We've been dating for 4 years. However, a few months ago I saw a few more and a nude photo of some random girl. Now at this point I was sketched out but didn't bring it up. Today I was taking photos for him on his phone while we were hiking, and when I went to review the pictures I saw he screenshotted a picture one of his friend's ex posted where she was topless but had an emoji over her nipples. I'll be honest, I got annoyed and sad and snooped a little. Then I found a plethora of photos of topless / nude girls. Multiple pictures of his friend's exes and some of them were nude. What do I do? Lol. Too long didn't read. Boyfriend of 4 years has nude photos of random girls and his friends' ex-girlfriends. He's shared your intimate photos with his friends. I guarantee it. What do? You fucking contact those girls and tell them that they are sending nudes around. Depending on the state, it can be a felony. You need to notify those women and tell them that their exes are sharing those photos with other men. That is so violating and illegal, I think. And seriously consider leaving this guy. That's disgusting, and if he feels comfortable accepting photos like this from his friends, he is probably sharing yours too. Your dude's a creep and his friends are creeps, and if you've ever sent him nudes his friends have them. He's also a liar. So here we are. Do you want to be with a creep and a liar? They are clearly sharing nudes of their GF/exes. I would not be surprised if your nudes were available to his friends. I'd probably assume he's sent your nudes to his friends, so be wary of that.